Indoor air quality and proper ventilation are important issues for homeowners today. As homes become more energy efficient, they also can be more tighter, so it's important to provide plenty of fresh air for proper ventilation. In the EnergyWise home, we're using this heat exchanger. It's an air-to-air heat exchanger, and here to explain to us how it works is Scott Harrison from LifeBreath. Scott, tell us about your product.
Okay, this is, like you said, this is a LifeBreath Ultimate Heat Exchanger, and ideally how it works is you have a duct right here that gets ducted to the outside, and this one comes from the inside of the house. We're bringing fresh air into the house, and on the inside of the unit, it passes through an aluminum heat exchange core, which is the inside, which is the heart of the system. This is where the two air streams will pass by each other without mixing, and then the cold air from outside goes through this way. The warm air coming from the house, which will leave from the bathrooms and the kitchen, will come back through this way. The heat is transferred over to the colder air coming in, and there you go. That's where you get your heat transfer happening.
Now, I noticed this is metal instead of plastic.
Yep, this is an aluminum, and the fins on the inside are about the one-tenth the thickness of a dime, and that's where you get your quick heat transfer happening.
And since aluminum conducts energy 1,000 times faster than plastic, you want to make sure you buy a unit that's got a metal heat exchange core.
That's right.
Yeah, so the concept is basically you've got, fresh air from the outside coming in, and then you've got the stale air going out. You exchange the heat, you recover the heat. What's the percentage of efficiency you get out of this?
On this model, you're looking at least 70% heat recovery.
Okay. And is it noisy?
No, it's not noisy at all. The door is extremely insulated. Once the door goes back on, the motor is very quiet. It has a 5-speed control mechanism, and you can run it on a continuous low speed, number 1, number 2. You don't need a lot of ventilation air in the house. You need an air exchange happening going on.
Okay, and in terms of controls, I noticed it also has a dehumidistat.
Yep, there's an internal dehumidistat which will allow to measure the humidity of the air coming back. So say someone's having a shower and they've got a lot of moisture in the bathroom. The air coming back exhausted from the bathroom, this will pick up on the dehumidistat, and if the HRV or the air exchanger is running at a low speed, this will boost it to high speed and allow the quickness to ventilate that moist air.
What does it cost to operate this?
Oh, you're looking at probably around $60, $70 a year.
Oh, fairly inexpensive. What does it cost to buy one of these?
I think you're looking, you have to look at talk to a contractor about the actual installed cost. The average cost of the unit can be, depending on the size of the home, is maybe $1,000 to $1,400.
Okay, so certainly reasonable cost. What about maintenance?
Maintenance is very simple. The homeowner can slide the aluminum core out. They can take it out to the driveway, hose it down with a garden hose, shake the excess water out, slide it right back in. They just have to make sure that they put it in with the arrow going up so you get the drainage going down into the bottom. They wipe down the drain trays right here, and we've got these foam filters that help protect the core from any kind of bugs or anything that gets in. And there's no maintenance on the motor because it's a sealed ball bearing motor, so they don't have to worry about that.
Okay, now indoor air quality obviously has to do with not only the efficiency of the air coming through, but also the particulates in the air. Now you have a filtration system that's kind of unique?
That's correct. What we have here is a filtration system called a turbulent flow precipitator.
And what does that mean?
Now that's a funny name, but turbulent flow is basically the way the air moves, and precipitation is to remove. So if you can picture air in a tube blowing down a 6-inch round duct, and as the air goes down the duct, it turbulates. Air never flows smoothly. So as a particulate gets flung out of the air, it gets caught on the side of the pipe. And then lo and behold, as you go down further down the pipe, the air is much cleaner. We've taken that same concept, that same principle, and put it inside our TFP collector. The air is going inside, it's turbulating, and the particulate is getting thrown and getting caught in our collector on the inside.
How much does this part of the filter take out?
At this point, you're looking at about 95%, around the 5 micron range.
Wow.
But
And a micron is a millionth of a meter. Human hair is roughly 30 to 40 microns, so that's smaller than what the human eye can even see.
Yeah, we're talking about that small dust that floats in the living room when the sun's coming in the window and you can see all that stuff floating in the air. That's the stuff that we can take out. And we boosted it with a HEPA filter, so now we can get right down to 0.3 of a micron that we're 99.97% removal on.
So we're taking just about everything out of the air, mold spores, any types of, most dust, smoke, that type of thing.
Allergens, anybody with respiratory problems, allergies, anything like that.
Now, what does this cost to operate? It looks like it's got a fairly small motor in it?
It's got a very small motor. It's less than 1 amp, so you're not looking at very much power consumption at all. And it is designed to run continuous, so you're always filtering the air. We're not saying that you're going to take all the particulate out of the house, because you're always opening doors and windows, and your clothes are always carrying. You may have carpets, so you're always introducing new particulate into the house. But this is definitely an excellent way of controlling it.
And what does a unit like this cost?
Oh, you're looking at about maybe $700–800, and then you might have a little bit to have it installed if you wanted to put into your HVAC system.
What about maintenance? How often do I have to replace these?
I would say that the collector will last anywhere from 10 to 12 months in your home, and the HEPA filter, because this is so efficient, will make it last about maybe 2 to 3 years. What's neat about the TFP is, as time goes on, like most filters, you know how air passes through a filter, it collects and it blocks the airflow and the air will go around. Well, the TFP's efficiency remains constant over that period of time, so we don't drop off in efficiency.
I see. And what do these units cost to replace these?
To replace the TFP collector itself, you're looking at about roughly $60–65 for that 10 to 12 month period, and the HEPA filter is roughly around $160–180, which is about every 3 years.
Great. Well, Scott, great information. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.